this early in the season, but how Wren plays this game, it could really dictate how the rest of their region slate goes.
Right.
So they're going to want a good performance tonight, especially from their defense.
Okay, yeah. Let's see, West Side's off, right?
Yes, West Side is 4-0 right now, and they are going to take the week off before region play starts for them next Friday.
Okay.
As we said, Powdersville is going to play Liberty. That's kind of an aerial rivalry that's not really set foot in yet, just because Powdersville's so new and Liberty is, barely, not even in the county. But,
right.
And they'll both be in different classifications next year, so this will be the last time they probably play for a while, unless they do non-conference stuff. But I'm not aware of them playing non-conference schedules. So if you want to see the Red Devils and the Patriots play, this might be your last shot to see them play football for a while.
Yeah, okay.
Pendleton this week makes the long trip to Chesney, up 85, up Highway 221, almost to North Carolina border. This is a long trip. I've driven it. It's awful.
Yeah.
It is an awful trip.
Once you get off the interstate, especially,
it is.
Back in the day, Old Boys High and Hannah here played. They played people like Gaffney and Rock Hill, and you would get up that way. So, and I'm talking that before the interstates. But later, even on the interstates, once you got off, you had to go winding off up in there through around York and Fort Mill, and these places were at the end of the world. And now they're part of everything.
Yes, but the only trip I hate doing more than this one is the Landrum trip, just because it takes forever to get to Landrum.
Yeah, I've only been there once.
It's a beautiful drive, but it takes forever to get there.
Yeah.
This could be a year for Pendleton to really take a big step in their region, in the Skyline 2A region. Chesney is down this year. They're 0-3 coming into this game.
That's unusual, too.
It is. And Chesney, I think they either won the region last year or they were second. So it's been a pretty disappointing start for the Eagles. They haven't played the toughest competition. They haven't played cupcakes either, but I don't think they were expecting to start 0-3 this year. I know they lost a lot from last year, but that school just seems to pump out talent every year.
Yeah.
So kind of a disappointing start for them. They'll see if they can rebound a little bit and make a game for Pendleton. And also this will be big for Pendleton to see how they rebound off that loss to BHP, if they're able to come back from that or not.
Now, doing a high school show at this time, this is being done on a Wednesday. And although all details are not available, we would be remiss if we did not mention the tragedy involving a 29-year coach at Pickens. His name was Bill Isaacs. Now, I broadcast a few games involving Bill, and back a long time ago, and he, you've put it in the paper. Someone has 50-something straight games they won, regular season games they won one time. They just dominated for a long time, and we don't know a whole lot surrounding what happened to Bill. The best thing that has come up is maybe some neighbors that didn't like each other or something. That's all we know at this point. A man has been arrested, and one of Bill's close friends, a man named Stewart, also he died in this incident also. But the people up at Pickens, now the players playing now won't know much and that kind of thing. Their parents will. Mm-hmm. And the people at Pickens are going through a hard time. They have lost one of their, a man that they idolized, and so it's a bad thing to have happened to Pickens, and so we wish them well, and the Isaacs family and the Stewart family too. So,
and I'm not entirely sure if John Boggs played for Coach Isaacs.
I think he did. I saw him in an interview last night. I think he did play for him.
And so that I know personally, if I know John pretty well, I imagine he's probably taking this one pretty hard.
Yeah.
So it'll be a very emotional Friday night, I think, for Pickens. But we do hope them all. We do wish them all the best in this very, very tragic time. Very unfortunate, very needless violence. It seemed like it happened to be. But I think just to finish up our recap, our preview for this week, Crescent makes an odd trip this week at 3-1. They're going to play River Bluff in the Midlands.
Now, that is one of the largest schools in the state. It's
Yeah.
a new school, and it's coached by the former coach at Coastal Carolina, Dave. I'm looking at you to tell me that, and you're not going to do it, are you?
I don't know his name either, but I
and that's
know.
the new school, the big one down there.
Yeah,
and this man is athletic director and many year successful head coach at Coastal Carolina.
Yes, he is. And,
David.
They're playing the mighty River Bluff Gators.
Yeah.
This one struck me as odd because this is a 2A school facing a 4A school.
Mm-hmm.
You don't typically see this very
No,
often.
you don't.
One reason you don't see it very often is just simply because of the point system 4A schools use for the playoffs. This is really a lose-lose for River Bluff no matter what happens.
That's right, it is.
If they win, they get 2 points. If they lose, they get 1 point. And so I'm not exactly sure why River Bluff and Crescent scheduled this game. It seems odd to me, but Crescent has a chance to make a huge upset here.
The coaches, I don't know, sometimes schools like this, it's hard to find out of conference and those things. And I don't know, maybe the two coaches have a relationship and been friends. I don't know that.
They may, but
Yeah.
from just a pure logistics standpoint, I don't understand this game.
Yeah.
But regardless, Crescent's going to go down there. They're going to play them, and
They must be giving them a pretty good gate to come see them, too.
I think so. And like I said, Crescent has 6 injuries. They're waiting to hear back on the 7th with D.D. Hull. That one hurt.
Yeah.
I saw that injury happen. He hurt his back, his lower back. So it wasn't a major paralysis thing or anything like that
Yeah.
where he had to be carted off. It was.
But trust me, when your back is hurt, everything hurts.
I think it's
I've
probably
been
just,
there.
I think it's probably just a bruised muscle or
Yeah.
probably just some back spasms. Again, very hard to play with that. If he's able to gut it out, more power
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
But for Crescent, for upside of Crescent, their backup quarterback played pretty well last week against Palmetto. Austin Hart, who was replacing Austin Pruitt, who has a knee injury, he did pretty well. Kenny White, their backup tailback, who's replacing D.D. Hull for the game, he had some moments where he looked good. Jamar Willingham, who was replacing Terry Hawkins, who was also hurt, he looked pretty good at times. So I think there's definitely some talent at Crescent. It's just young talent, inexperienced. And again, when you lose 6 starters at any level, you're hurting. When you lose it at 2A,
Yeah.
that's not 6 players. That's 12 positions you've lost probably. So
Absolutely, yes. But as we just had said, you play both ways in those leagues.
And not helping them is the 8-quarter rule because they can't bring guys from JV up.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. It sounds like it's gonna be a tough year for Murdoch.
But now they can bring them up, but they can't let them go back, right?
Yeah, they can't play both ways.
They can't play both nights.
Yeah, they either have to play JV or they have to play varsity that week. They cannot do both anymore.
Yeah.
They cannot even dress.
Well, I would assume that they'll have to bring some people up from that JV team.
They're going to have to.
I wonder if the JVs of these two schools are playing. Do you know?
I do not know that, but again, it's an odd matchup again. But I think it could turn out to be a good game. Crescent's,
Get a little closer there.
Crescent's
Thank you.
definitely going to give them a fight, I think. But we'll just have to see. River Bluff will definitely have more bodies on the sidelines. So
Sure, they will. Yeah.
if it turns into a war of attrition, you have to give a nod to River Bluff there because when you got more bodies, you got a better chance to win at times. And I guess finally, for anyone out of market people, Walhalla will play Seneca this week, and West Oak will play Daniel. That's strangely a battle of two teams that have not won a game yet. You don't typically see that with Daniel and West Oak.
I know it. Yeah, especially Daniel.
So that could be an interesting game. Seneca Walhalla, we'll see what Walhalla can do with that one. They have a shot, of course, but
Both they used to be bitter rivals. Rivals.
and
and throw in Pickens occasionally, and it was really something.
But the Walhalla Seneca rivalry got pretty big about 2 years ago when Trey Stevens, who was a basketball player at Walhalla, wanted to go play quarterback. Israel Williamson was the quarterback at Walhalla at the time. He wasn't going to supplant him. So Trey Stevens transferred to Seneca the next year.
Yeah.
And so that put a little fuel on that.
Sure
rivalry.
did, yeah.
But since then, I think it's died down a little bit. We'll see what Walhalla can do. They'll have a shot. But again, if Braxton Gambrell rushes 300 yards, that one's not going to be pretty for the Razorbacks.
Right. Okay, that takes care of our local high schools around the Anderson County area, Anderson County, South Carolina. We would love to hear from anybody at mostlysportstalk at gmail.com, mostlysportstalk at gmail.com. This is a little thing we do during the season. And quickly going to run down the USA today. Top 25, Bishop Gorman of Las Vegas is 1. 2 is St. Thomas Aquinas, Fort Lauderdale. Number 3 is Centennial of Corona, California. DeMatha Catholic out of Hattsville, Maryland is 4. Number 5 is John Bosco Bellflower, California. Allen, Texas is number 6. Colquitt County in Moultrie, Georgia is number 7 again. Not many changes in this particular part of it. Ocean Lakes, Virginia. Number 9 is Clay Chalkville, Pinson, Alabama. Number 10 is American Heritage Plantation out of Florida. They're 2-1, by the way. Everybody else so far has been undefeated, we've talked about. Cedar Hill, Texas is number 11. Number 12 is the IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. I don't know how anybody possibly ever beats them, but, you know. Trinity, Useless, Texas is number 13. 14 is Katy, Texas. De La Salle out in Concord, California, the school that I like to watch. They still run that old veer. And they are always in the top 10 or 15. They're number 15. They're 2-1. They started out the season with a loss, and I don't remember now who lost, who beat them. Flanagan of Pembroke Pines, Florida, is number 2. Notice all the Texas and the Florida.
Yeah.
That's where the talent is.
It is.
And some in California. All right, then Webb City, Missouri is 17. 18 is Bergen Catholic in Oradell, New Jersey. Spartanburg, South Carolina, is number 19. We know where that is, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Jinx, Oklahoma is 20. St. Joseph Regional in Montville, New Jersey is 21. 22, LaSalle of Cleveland. 23 is Marie of Louisville. And we're going to talk about maybe Louisville here in a minute, too. Mm-hmm. Archbishop Rummel out of Louisiana is 24. And 25 is Saline, Michigan. I'm going to try to do the dropped out here if I can get my extra pair of glasses on. All right, dropped out from last year were number 9. That was Colorian in Cincinnati. Number 10, Archer out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. All you got to do is lose one.
Yeah.
Now, later in the year, you might can work your way back in. All right, and then Cocoa, Florida dropped out. So, anyway, those are the guys, and some of those schools, friends, they're private schools. Some of them have they're parochial, and they pretty well can recruit and do. It costs a ton of money to go to some of those private schools. All of those schools are not private. Some of them are just schools like Spartanburg. Okay.
Speaking of Spartanburg, one last note on our high school. They played Gaffney last week.
Yeah.
Spartanburg won pretty comfortably, but Gaffney did something I don't think a lot of teams are going to do. They shut down Tavian Feaster. They held him to 16 yards rushing for the night. That is unheard of. I doubt we will ever see that happen again this year.
I wonder what they did. Just keyed on him with some people. Did he catch any?
I think he caught 2 passes, but they were for minimal yardage. They really took him away from Spartanburg.
Makes me wonder if he's hurt.
I think they basically said you're going to have someone else besides him beat us.
And they did.
Unfortunately for Gaffney, Spartanburg had a receiver catch for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, Scott, I believe is his name.
Yes, Scott. So expect to see his college interest spike after that one.
And the quarterback, too.
So apparently Tavian Feaster is not all Spartanburg has. So
that's good.
It's good for them, bad for everyone else that has to play him.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think that'll wrap us up for high school here. If you want
it will. Yeah, and we're going to move over here to we're going to talk a little college here. Actually, Lake Morris is the prep reporter and man in charge of all the prep stuff out at the Anderson Independent Mail. But he's also a sports fan, a football fan, and keeps up with the college too. And do you want to start out with your trip to Columbia last week?
Oh, if we must, I can.
Okay.
In full disclosure, I am a USC graduate, for anyone wondering. I'm used to this kind of thing, it being a Gamecock fan my whole life. This is not used to losing to Kentucky, but I'm used to having us lose. But Yeah, I guess what do you want to hear about first? Maybe you can guide me what you want to.
Well, I don't know. Just give us a fairly quick wrap up because it was just kind of a strange game.